it's my honor to welcome you to your own personal class of 2021 convocation. If we were to flash back a couple years ago, your first sort of experience here, man, have you experienced a lot of things that I never have. And I've experienced this, not here, but I've experienced this, but a lot has really changed for you, and includes the last 16 months of COVID. It would take probably way more than my 4 minutes that I have to detail all the things that you've gone through over the last 4 years and more, but I'm thinking that your senior year in a Canadian high school is probably not, and your senior year at convocation is probably not what you would have imagined. But you're here, and you deserve it. One thing hasn't changed, though, and that's your right to be here. Now, it might be in an auto body shop turned enchanted forest, rather than over at the multiplex. You're only allowed to bring a couple of people rather than the thousands of fans I know you have around the community that would have packed the multiplex to watch you graduate. Instead, they're going to have to watch Mr. Lopez's live stream. Thank you, Mr. Lopez. And you'll probably be out of here in less time than it will take to show all the goals that the Montreal Canadiens have scored over their NHL playoff run. And I'm thinking Rule is happy about not being here for an hour and a half to 2 hours listening and sitting through grad. So, your typical convocation is not this. But why you're here has not changed. You've earned your rightful place to be here at Morris School's convocation. You've breezed through some classes. You've worked really hard at others. You probably laughed out loud with, and I know you like to laugh, or at a teacher or a classmate. You've probably been frustrated by something or someone school-related, and it's all part of the process. The memories you have, both good and bad. However, you've earned the right to have those memories. Let's just say that this year may not be something that you dreamed of, because I know that dreams go to, obviously, rugby. Dreams go to wanting to talk about looking into American football, as well as, I know, wrestling is very deep. Yes, good. But you were just looking for just a regular run-of-the-mill, like, for example, to join a sports team or two. Maybe to be able to be left off or let out of campus so you can actually go downtown for a Slurpee, or go downtown or go to home for lunch. Maybe even go on a field trip where you could actually walk into another building other than this one. I don't know, but it just didn't happen, and I feel for you, and I feel for your class. But I'm not going to wallow in self-pity and feel bad about everybody. We have some positives. I'm going to list 3. There's way more than that. You've made history. This class of 2021, outside of the 1953-1954 polio epidemic here in Canada and other places, your class is equitable to that almost. So there doesn't happen a lot in history. So your class has made history. Number 2, we did, although it was every other day, got to spend time with our teachers and our classmates. We saw each other. It was better than what we experienced at the end of last year. And if I can speak personally for a minute, your presence and the presence of your classmates saved me more than once as we struggled through health protocols and changes and rules and what you can and cannot do, and canceled events and canceled teams, etc., etc. I considered every day with you, though, Roy, a blessing. When, or why, pardon me, because I got to see you, and seeing you is the reason I do what I do. This is the end of my 3rd year, and I got to meet you at the beginning of last year, and I'm a better man for it, and so I thank you for allowing me to be part of your experience. I hope your ability to come to school this year was a positive for you as well. And then finally, number 3, you've accomplished a goal. The reason you're up here today is to complete a process. It's to put a stamp on your public school education. Now, for some, it'll be the last time they step foot in a school. They don't want anything to do with it. And for others, it's just another step and another phase completed, headed on to the next one. But I don't want you to think about today anything more than just today. Don't worry about the future. Today, I want you to celebrate. I want you to cherish this moment, and I want you to celebrate it beyond this 10 minutes. So as of 12:01 a.m. on Saturday, so midnight tonight, 01, you can have 10 people in your backyard. Celebrate. You can go to a park-like setting and have 24 other people. Go celebrate. Enjoy yourself. And as you head out to figure out the rest of your life, and I know you have a plan, but plans do change, I wish you the best. You are always welcome here, Roy, and I hope that you take us up on the invitation to visit. I also hope that part of your life includes being of service to others, because I can tell you from personal experience, it's one of the best feelings in the world. So, congratulations, Roy, for being part of the class of 2021. So now we'll take a few photos, but if you could, don't pick up the frame, but if you could pick up the diploma that's in front of it. Yeah, go ahead. And it's a two-part thing. Just fold that lower half in and around behind it, and then pose for some photos. While I say, Roy Tambal Musa. Congratulations, Roy, on your graduation from Morris School. Roy, you will be remembered for your big smile and good nature. I appreciate your strength of character and solid determination as an athlete, but please keep working on your healthy food choices. That was from Mrs. Adel. Remember, poutine is not the healthiest choice for athletes, especially rugby players, although you might gain some weight. Your resilience in overcoming many challenges and changes, such as moving to a new country and adjusting to a new school and a community, is completely impressive. You have done well and excelled. Keep working hard in your pursuit of your dreams of becoming an architect and, of course, playing some rugby. We wish you the very best at the end or as you attend university this fall at the University of Manitoba. Roy is receiving the 40S Essentials Math Academic Award with a mark of 76%, and Roy is receiving his Manitoba High School diploma. Congratulations, Roy. Yeah, absolutely. You should hold on to it for a bit. And now everybody, when we're done this, and this won't take very long, you can just drive around to the front of the school, and there's a photo booth there, and everybody can sort of take as much time as you want to take some photos. Okay? 7 minutes. Looking sharp, buddy. Holy cow. Yeah. You too, Xander. You guys clean up well. All right, Xander, good morning. Good to see you. Welcome, family, friend. It's my honor to welcome you to your own personal class of 2021 graduation convocation. If you were to flash back to grade 9, the first year of your high school experience, I'm pretty sure you couldn't have predicted this. A lot has happened over the last 4 years, especially the last 16 months. It would take the entire time I have, about 4 minutes, to detail all those things, so I'll save you all the stories. But speaking of stories, the stories of your senior year that you've heard from other friends and family members, etc., about how their high school graduation was in their last year, doesn't even look anything like it. And if the class of 2020 thinks that they're so special because they had to finish their year this way, you say, sit down and hold my root beer, right? But one thing hasn't changed, Xander, and that's your right to be here, to attend this convocation. Now, it might be in the auto body shop, turned Enchanted Forest. Shout out to the decorating department for or the decorating committee for that instead of the multiplex. You're only allowed to bring a few family and friends instead of the thousands of people that would have packed the barn to watch you graduate over at the multiplex. Instead, they're going to have to watch Mr. Lopez's live stream, so thanks, Mr. Lopez, for being here. He's really tired after cheering on the Canadians last night. So, and you'll be out of here, speaking of the Canadians, you'll be out of here in less time than it will take to replay all the goals they've scored this spring in the NHL playoffs. Mr. Cox, by the way, is very upset that school is ending before the playoffs are ending because he was looking to run around the hallways with Mr. Lopez celebrating the Montreal Stanley Cup victory. First time since '93, I hear. Okay, I got off track. The reason you're here has not changed. You've earned your right to be here. You've breezed through some classes, I'm thinking some of them that you liked, and you've worked hard at others. You've laughed out loud either at or with teachers and classmates. You've been frustrated by some things. Someone or something, probably school-related. I think it's part of the process of the memories that you create, both good and bad. However, you've earned the right to have those memories. And let's just say that this year is not something that you dreamed of. What is a dream involved? Well, maybe being part of a sports team or two. Maybe actually getting to leave the school to go to Tim's or down to get a Slurpee without feeling like a jailbreak. Or maybe going on a field trip so you can actually walk into another building other than this one and not doing it on a screen. So, the typical run-of-the-mill normal senior year at the end of last year became your dream, if we can only have that. And that didn't happen, and for that I feel for you and your classmates. So, let's not wallow in that. Let's look to the positive. I've got 3, and there's more than that, but I've got 3. Number 1, this class, this graduating class, made history. Outside of the 1953-54 grad class who had to suffer through the polio epidemic, your class is pretty special. So you've made history. Number 2, most of the school year this year was spent with your classmates. Now, it was every other day, but it was still an opportunity to see each other. And that, I think, is a big part of what school is. And if I can speak personally for a moment, your presence and the presence of your classmates saved me more than once as we struggled with health protocols and rule changes and canceled events, et cetera, was not fun for me, but you guys made it worth it. And you're the reason that I do what I do. So as I finish off my 3rd year at Morris, I got to see a group of goofy grade 10s become the leaders of the school. And it's been my honor and privilege to be part of that experience, and I thank you for letting me do that. And I hope your ability to come to school, although it was different, was a positive for you as well. The final positive, you've accomplished a goal here. The reason you're here today is to complete a process. Put a stamp on a 13-year education career. For some, it'll be the last time they ever step foot in a school. And for others, it's just finishing a phase so they'll move on to their next phase of education. Where you go tomorrow and beyond, though, it's not that I don't care, but I don't want you to focus on it. What I want you to do is focus on today, beyond these 10 minutes, and I want you to cherish the moment because you've earned it. Celebrate with your family members, and at 12:01 a.m. tonight, you can have 10 people in your backyard. And if you go to a park, you could have 24 other people other than you hang out together. You've earned it. Find a way to celebrate it. I wish you the best with that. As you head out to figure out the rest of your life, I wish you the best. You're always welcome here, and I hope you accept the invitation to come back and say hi. I hope you also choose in a part of your life to serve others, though, because I believe that that's, from personal experience, that's one of the best things that you can feel is helping out a friend or helping out other people. So, Xander, congratulations for being part of the class of 2020. Way to go. Okay, so if you want to, don't pick up the frame, but the diploma's in front of the frame. If you pick that up, yeah, both of them, yeah, pick it all the way up. You can pick both, yeah, that's good. Fold that over, the black one, just open it, and fold the bottom part underneath. I'll show you, just like this. So if this is your, there you go, and then display, there you go, and display, there you go, that's awesome. Okay, Xander Gordon Herkert. Congratulations, Xander, on your graduation from Morris School. Although this has been a challenging year, you've worked hard to finish well. Your determination will help you as you move forward in your chosen field of diesel mechanics. We wish you well as you continue your apprenticeship with Bartel Trucking. Xander is receiving his Manitoba Vocational High School Diploma and his Manitoba High School Diploma. Xander is also receiving the Red River Valley Technical Vocational Certificate for completing both Level 1 and Level 2 of the Heavy Duty Equipment Technology Diesel course. That's a long, you need an acronym for that. That's a long one. Okay, congratulations, Xander. Way to go. Oh, nice. There you go. You're a double diploma guy. And when we're finished here, drive around at the front of the school, you take as many photos as you like. That's awesome. Way to go, Xander. Good job, man. Thanks a lot. Good morning, Philip. Good morning, Philip's dad. How are you? Good, good. Philip, it's my honor to welcome you to your own personal class of 2021 convocation. If you were to flash back to your grade 9 year, the first year of high school, I'm pretty sure you couldn't have predicted this. A lot has happened and changed over the last 4 years, especially the last 16 months. And it would take me my entire time to talk to you about all those, so we're not going to dwell on that. Let's move on. But the stories that you've heard of your graduating year from others and what grad would look like and everything else sort of hasn't materialized. And if the class of 2020 think they're real special, last year's grade 12s, because they had 3 months of this, well, you told them to sit down and hold my root beer, you said. But if you want to know one thing that hasn't changed, it's your right to attend your graduation convocation. Now, it might be in an auto body shop turned enchanted forest. Shout out to the decorating committee for that. And you're only allowed to have some family members rather than the thousands of people that would have packed the multiplex to watch you graduate. Instead, they're watching on live stream. And you'll be out of here in less time than it'll take to highlight Mr. Cox's and Mr. Lopez's NHL Montreal Canadiens goals that they've scored over the playoffs this year. Then it will take longer to do that than you'll be here, rather than the hour and a half to 2 hours that you would be at a regular convocation. I'm thinking Dad's okay with not being here for an hour and a half to 2 hours. So, back to my point, sorry about that. The reason you're here has not changed. You've worked hard to earn your rightful place at your convocation. You've breezed through some courses, and you've worked hard at others. You've laughed either with or at your teachers and some classmates, and you've probably been frustrated by something or someone school-related. And it's all part of the process, though, creating memories, both good and bad. I'm thinking you're going to remember more of the good than the bad as you get older. I know I do. I forget a lot, but the good ones is what I remember. But you've earned the right to have those memories. Let's just say that your last year is not maybe what you've dreamed of. What did you dream about? Maybe joining a sports team or a club, maybe actually getting to leave the school and go home for lunch or go to Tim's for something. Maybe you could go on a field trip to actually see another place other than the walls of this school. So your idea of a run-of-the-mill, normal last year of high school has sort of gone out the window and was a dream last year, and that dream just hasn't been fulfilled, and for that I feel for you and your classmates. But let's not wallow and feel sorry for ourselves. Let's think about the positives. Positive number one, I've got 3 of them. Positive number one is your class has made history. This class of 2021, outside of in North America anyway, outside the 1953-54 polio epidemic, the COVID pandemic is pretty parallel to that. A lot of things were canceled, a lot of things you couldn't do in the right ways. So you've made history just due to that fact. Number 2, most of the school year, we got to see you at least every other day. Now, we were 2 meters apart, get on your mask, etc., etc. Most of it was just academia, but we still got to see you. And if I get personal for a second, your presence and the presence of your classmates saved me more than once going for a visit and joking around and doing all that sort of stuff, because I struggled too with the rule changes and the health protocols and all the things that were canceled. Didn't turn out to be the year that I wanted either. And why did you save me is because I just simply got to see you. And seeing you is the reason I do what I do. As I finished my 3rd year and I remember the goofy grade 10s that I inherited of the class of 2021 to the leaders that you guys are now and the fine gentlemen and ladies that you are, it's my pleasure and privilege to be part of that experience, and I thank you for that. I hope your ability to come to school was a positive for you as well, because we appreciated seeing you. 3rd positive, last one, you've accomplished this goal. The reason you're here today is to complete a process, to put a stamp on your public education career. Now, for some, it'll be the last time they step foot in a school. They don't want to have anything to do with it. For others, it's just finishing a phase so they can move on to the next one. But I don't want you to focus on the next one or what's next for you. I want you to cherish today, Philip. I would recommend extending this event beyond the next 10 minutes. or these 10 minutes that we have together. Celebrate it with your family members, and at 12:01 a.m. tonight, you can have 10 people in a backyard, or you could go to a park and have 24 other people. So every way you choose it, follow health protocols, but enjoy it and celebrate. So as you head out to figure out what the rest of your life looks like, I wish you the best. You're always welcome here, and I hope that you accept the invitation to stop by and say hello. I hope that a part of your life, however, is to choose to serve others, because serving others from personal experience is one of the best things you can do in life. So congratulations, Philip, for being part of the class of 2021. Way to go. Awesome. So Philip, in front of that picture frame is your diploma. You want to pick it up? Yeah, there you go. Yeah, pick it all the way up. And then fold it in behind so you can just show the diploma to Mrs. DeKazel. And she's going to take some photos as I say this. Philip Indicil. Congratulations, Philip, on your graduation from Morris School. This has been a challenging year, and you have worked hard to finish and graduate. You will be remembered for your good nature and especially for your care of your family. We wish you the very best as you take this year to work and figure out what the next steps are, and to possibly pursue a career in healthcare. Philip is receiving a Manitoba High School diploma. Congratulations, Philip. Way to go. Yes, yes. Hi guys, good to see you. Looking sharp, those are nice shoes, man. There you go. They're probably not the type of shoes you wear in here normally. All right, good morning, Ethan. Ethan's family, good morning. Thanks for coming, I really appreciate it. It's my absolute honor to welcome you to your own personal class of 2021 convocation. If you were to flash back to your first year in high school, I'm pretty sure you wouldn't have dreamt and pictured this or predicted this. A lot has happened in the last 4 years, and a lot has happened especially in the last 16 months. It would take the entire time I have, and I don't have a lot, to sort of detail those things, so I'll leave that alone. But the stories that you've heard about what grad's like, from friends and relatives, etc., didn't pan out to be this year. And for that, I feel for you and your classmates. But one thing that hasn't changed is your right to be here. Now, it might be in the auto body shop, turned Enchanted Forest. Shout out to the decorating committee for that, rather than the multiplex. And you're only allowed to bring your family members rather than the thousands of people that would have followed you here to watch you graduate. They're going to have to check it out on the live stream, increase Mr. Lopez's viewing numbers, right? And it will take you less time here than it will be for me to replay all the Montreal Canadian goals over the last NHL playoffs this spring. Then maybe the 1.5 to 2 hours that it would take to do a normal, typical convocation. And is that your brother in the back? Yeah, and I'm pretty sure your brother's happy that it's only going to take about 10 minutes rather than 2.5 hours. So, back to my point. The reason you're here has not changed. You've worked to earn your rightful place at the Moore School Convocation. You've breezed through some classes. You've worked hard at others. You've laughed at teachers and with some friends. You've been frustrated by some things or someone, school-related, and I think it's all part of the process of making memories, both good and bad. However, you've earned the right to make those memories. Let's just say your senior year is not what you dreamed of. Maybe you dreamed of joining a sports team or joining a club. Maybe you dreamed of actually going to Tim's at lunch or on a spare or downtown, rather than, if you did, feeling like you were breaking out of jail. Maybe you thought, hey, I could go on a field trip this year or go to a career symposium. But nope, that had to be done on a screen. So what your run-of-the-mill typical grade 12 year was like when you thought back in grade 9 what it would be like, hasn't happened. But again, I don't want to dwell on the positive or negative. I've got 3 positives for you. Number 1, your class has made history. Outside of 1953-54, when the polio epidemic went through, this class is probably just as special as that. They've experienced something just as unique. So history has been made. Second thing, you got to come to school every other day, and during vocational every day. So we got to see each other. And to me, that's a good thing, because I know friends are important to you, and we got to see each other, and to me, that was good. And if I can speak personally for a minute, Ethan, your presence at the school, believe it or not, although we've had some chats, saved me. I too was struggling with health protocols and rule changes and figuring out all these things and canceled events and things that I would have loved for you guys to experience and couldn't. I considered every day, however, with you guys, a blessing. Why? Because I got to see you, and seeing you is the reason I do what I do. So on behalf of myself, I want to thank you for allowing me to be part of your experience. I appreciate that. I got to see you guys grow up from a group of goofy grade 10s to the grade 12s that you are today, and I appreciate that as well. And I hope that you see being here at school a positive. And number 3, now I know you're not completely done, but you've accomplished a goal here. The reason you're here today is to complete a certain part of the process. Put a stamp on your 13-year education career. For some, it's going to be the last time they step foot in a school. For others, it's going to be just another phase that they've completed and move on to the next phase of education. But I don't want you to worry about the future or even think about it. I want you to cherish today. I want you to go beyond these 10 minutes that you have in the enchanted forest, and I want you to celebrate it and cherish it with your family and your friends. Now, at 12:01 a.m. tonight, you can have 10 people in your backyard. Celebrate it. Or you could go to a park-like setting and have 24 people, because 25 would be you, in there. However you celebrate it, follow health protocols, but take the time to do it because you've earned it. Don't worry about what tomorrow needs to happen. As you head out to figure out what the rest of your life looks like, I wish you well. You're always welcome here. I think you're coming back for a bit to finish the auto body off, which is good, but even then, after that, you're always welcome here. And I hope that part of your life, you choose to serve others in some way, because serving others from personal experience is one of the best things you can do. So Ethan, congratulations for being part of the class of 2021. Way to go. Okay, in front of that is your diploma. Yeah, pick that up and hold it so that just the diploma is, yeah, there you go. And you'll get some pictures taken while I say, Ethan Flamond. Congratulations, Ethan, on your graduation from Morris School. This has been a challenging year, and you've worked hard and never given up. We are proud of your efforts and especially of you. We look forward to you returning to finish your final level of auto body and pursuing a career in the auto body field. Ethan is receiving his Manitoba High School diploma. Congratulations, Ethan. Nice job. right, good morning, Janna. Good morning to the family. Thanks for coming. Really appreciate it. It's my honor to welcome you to your own personal class of 2021 convocation. If you were to flash back to your grade 9 years, the first year of high school, I'm pretty sure you couldn't have predicted this. So there's been a lot of changes over the last 4 years and especially over the last 16 months. I'm not going to take all that time because I don't have a lot of time, so I'm not going to detail all those changes, but you've been through a lot. Things that you've heard about what graduation is like just didn't occur this year, and if the class of 2020 thinks they're special, you told them to sit down and hold my root beer. But one thing hasn't changed, and that's your right to be here. Now, it might be in the auto body shop, turned Enchanted Forest, shout out to the decorating committee for all the work, instead of the multiplex. You're only allowed to bring members of your family rather than all the members of the community that would have came to watch you graduate. They're tuning in on Mr. Lopez's live stream. Your numbers are you've probably jacked up the numbers by now from there, yeah. And you'll be out of here in less time than it'll take to replay Mr. Cox's Montreal Canadiens goals during the playoffs. Usually it's about an hour and a half to 2 hours, a typical convocation, so I'm pretty sure that brother and sister back there are happy that it's not an hour and a half to 2 hours. I bet you that's the case. Now, back to my point. Sorry, I got distracted. The reason you're here did not change. You've worked to earn your right to be here. You've breezed through some classes. You've worked hard on others. You've laughed at teachers, and maybe with them, as well as classmates. And you've been frustrated, I'm thinking, by something or someone school-related. But that's all part of the process and how you make the memories, both good and bad. But it's your right to have those memories. Let's just say that your senior year is not what you dreamt of. What did your dream involve? Well, maybe it was joining and being part of a sports team or two. Maybe you actually got to leave the school to go on a Tim's run and not feel like you were breaking out of jail if you did. Maybe to go on a field trip or a career symposium in an actual other building other than looking at it on a screen. So the typical run-of-the-mill thing of a high school grad year, which most people would come to expect, was probably a dream at the end of June last year, but it just didn't materialize. And for that, I feel for you, and I feel for your classmates. But I'm not going to wallow in self-pity, and or Janna pity, so I'm just going to focus on positives. 3 of them that I've got for you. Your class has made complete history. Outside of the polio epidemic in 1953-54, your grad class has suffered through and been through a unique experience. So you have your place in history. Number 2, we spent most of the school year together. Now, it was every other day, and there were some brief pauses here and there, but we got to see each other. And I want to speak personally for a minute. Your presence, a lot of it was your presence, and the presence of your classmates saved me more than once. Because I struggled too with health protocols and rule changes and canceled events. Didn't want any of that to happen for you guys. But I considered every day that I had with you guys a blessing. Why? Because I got to see you. And seeing you guys is the reason I do what I do. It's the end of my 3rd year, and I inherited a group of goofy grade 10s that quickly became the leaders of the school, including yourself. It's my pleasure and privilege to be part of that experience, and I want to thank you for letting me do that. I hope your ability to come to school, although stay away from each other, don't look at each other's phones, put your mask on, I hope it was still a positive experience for you. Positive number 3, you have accomplished the goal. The reason you're here today is to complete that process, to put a stamp on your 13-year education. For some, it'll be the last time they step foot in a school, but for others, it's just another phase, and you'll move on to the next phase of education. But I don't really want to talk about the future. I want you to cherish today. I want you to cherish beyond these 10 minutes that you get here in the Enchanted Forest, and I want you to celebrate it with your family and your friends. Now, as of tonight, you can have 10 people in your backyard. Whoa! Or you could go to a park and have 24 other people be with you. Yes. Celebrate it. You've earned it. I want you to take the time to do that. Now, as you figure out what the rest of your life looks like, and I know you have plans, but who knows? I wish you the best. You're always welcome here, and I hope that you take us up on that invitation. I know that this is part of what you want to do, but I hope that part of your life includes serving others, because I can tell you from personal experience, it's one of the best things you can do with your life. So congratulations, Janna, for being part of the class of 2021. Way to go. So if you just take in front of the frame is your diploma, you pick it up, yeah, and then fold it over so that Mrs. DeCazel can see the back. I'm going to say, there's quite a few things for me to say here. Janna Patricia Olayan. Janna graduates with honors. Janna, you will be remembered for your enthusiasm and confidence, your ability to speak to anyone regardless of age with clarity and respect. Your attitude is contagious, and you make everyone around you feel special. You have been a valuable member of every team and organization that you participated in. I know the grads are especially grateful for the grad wear that you designed and organized. You have contributed to make our school a better place, and we wish you success as you enter the Faculty of Arts and study social justice with the possibility of studying social work or law in the future. Now, there's a little cart that came out because you are receiving the following. The Band 40S Award, sponsored by the band parents with a mark of 99%. A Miller Environmental Scholarship of $500. The Morris School Co-Curricular Award. This award is given in recognition of your participation and leadership in co-curricular activities throughout high school. A $3,000 Queen Elizabeth II Academic Entrance Scholarship from the University of Manitoba, and of course, your Manitoba High School Diploma. Congratulations, Janna. So before you take, you might want to pick up a plaque, but before you take your complete haul, come on over here between the sign and the bench with your diploma at least. Yeah, just between the sign and the bench. And when we finish here, you guys can turn to the right, and there's a whole photo booth at the front entrance of the school for you guys to take a bunch of photos. Nice job, Janna. Way to go. Good job. pleasure and honor to welcome you to your own personal grad convocation of 2021. If you were to flash back to grade 9, first year of high school, I'm pretty sure you couldn't have predicted this. A lot has happened over the last 4 years for you, and especially the last 16 months. It would take my whole 4 minutes allotted to highlight all those changes, so I'll move on. But the stories that you've heard of grad from family and relatives just kind of doesn't look this way, so it's pretty different. And a lot has changed, and if the class of 2020 think they're real special, last year's grade 12s, because they had to do 3 months of this, well, you said sit down and hold my root beer. Okay, but one thing hasn't changed, and that's your right to attend your high school graduation convocation. Now, it might be in the auto body shop, turned Enchanted Forest, shout out to the decorating committee, rather than the multiplex. You're only allowed to bring members of your family rather than the thousands of people that would have packed the place to watch you graduate. Instead, they got to view it on the live stream. Okay? And you'll be here less than it would be to take and replay all the Montreal Canadiens goals through the playoffs. By the way, and it's going to be about, usually a typical grad would have been about an hour and a half to 2 hours, and I'm thinking Kira's happy that it's only going to be 10 minutes. By the way, Mr. Cox and Mr. Lopez are sad that school ends before the playoffs end because they were looking forward to running through the hallways and cheering as the Canadians won the cup. Anyway, I'm off track. The reason you're here did not change. You've worked hard to earn your rightful place at a Morris School convocation. Now, you've breezed through some courses, probably the ones you liked, and you worked to complete the others. Some hard, some It's okay. You've completed them. You laughed at some of your teachers and with classmates. You've been frustrated by something or someone, probably school-related, but it's all part of the process and the memories that you make, both good and bad, but you've earned the right for those memories. Let's just say your senior year isn't what you dreamt of. Maybe it's a sports team or two. I know Maverick hockey is special and dear to your heart. Maybe you got to leave the school grounds and not feel like you were breaking out of prison. And or that you could actually walk into a career symposium at the convention center rather than look at it on a screen. So the typical run-of-the-mill grad year that you would think about didn't happen for you and your classmates, and for that I feel for you and your classmates. But let's not wallow. Let's not feel sorry for ourselves. There's some positives as well. I'm going to highlight 3. Your class made history. Outside of the polio epidemic in 1953-54, you guys are special. So you've completely made history with what you've had to endure. Number 2, this year we got to spend some time together. Now, it was every other day, or if you were vocational, every day, but it was every other day, but we still got to see each other. And if I can speak personally for a minute, your presence and the presence of your classmates saved me more than once, because I suffered with all the rule changes and health protocols and having to cancel events and different things. I considered every day with you guys to be at school here a blessing. Why? Because it's the reason I do what I do. As I end my 3rd year here and I inherited this group of goofy grade 10s who are now become the leaders of the school and fine young men and women, and I appreciate that. And it's been my privilege and pleasure to be part of your experience, and I thank you for allowing me. I hope your ability to come to school this year was a positive for you, albeit, hey, Carl, stay away, back away, put your mask on, what are you doing? No looking at each other's phones, blah, 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 blah. I hope it was still a positive for you. 3rd positive, final one I'll talk about, is that you've accomplished a goal. The reason you're here today is to complete the process, to put a stamp on your 13-year high school and public school education. You didn't take 13 years to get through high school. That was me. No, you're good. For some, it'll be the last experience in school. They'll never step foot into school again. For others, they finish this phase, move on to the next. But I don't really want to talk about the future. That'll happen. What I want you to do is cherish today. Cherish today beyond the 10 minutes. Hop in that limousine that you've got there and turn right, go take some photos, and then cherish it with family members. And at 10 or 12:01 tonight, you can have 10 people in your backyard. Or you could go to a park and have 24 others come see you too. So have it, cherish it, follow health protocols, but have fun. As you head out to figure out the rest of your life, I wish you the best. You're always welcome here, and I hope that you take up that invitation to come and see us and keep us up to date on what's going on in your world. And I hope that part of your life you choose whether it's a little bit or a lot, to serve others, because if you do that, I know that you would gain a valuable experience and feel good about doing that. So congratulations, Carl, for being part of the class of 2021. Way to go. Now, in front of the frame, there's your diploma. Pick it up, hold it in half so that Mrs. DeCazel can see just your diploma. There you go, good. That's awesome. So, Carl Lane, I didn't know that, Solness. Congratulations, Carl, on your graduation from Morris School. Carl, you will be remembered for your outgoing personality, respectful attitude, and your determination to work hard and do your best at whatever job is given to you. The Morris Mavericks hockey team appreciated your strength of character and solid leadership as a hard-working athlete. We wish you the very best as you take this next year to work and then possibly go to college or apprentice. Carl, you're receiving the Manitoba High School Diploma. Congratulations. Way to go. Good job, Matthew. I'm laughing because Mr. Cox has put on his Montreal Canadiens jersey and he strutted up to it. It must have been Tegan, who's a Tampa Bay fan. So, yeah. All right. Good morning, Matthew. Good morning, Mom and Dad. Good to see you. It's my absolute honor to welcome you to your personal class of 2021 convocation. Now, if you were to flash back to your grade 9 year, the first year of high school, I'm pretty sure you couldn't have predicted this. A lot has happened over the 4 years for you, and especially the last 16 months. It would take all my time that I'm allotted to detail all those, so I'll move on. But I'm thinking what people have described, what grad would be like for you, hasn't really looked that way. And if the grade 12s from last year, the class of 2020, think they were so special because they had this during their last 3 months, you said, sit down and hold my root beer. You knew that. So, but one thing hasn't changed, and that's your right to attend your high school convocation. Now, it might be in the auto body shop, turned Enchanted Forest. Shout out to the decorating committee for what they've done. instead of being at the multiplex, and you're only allowed to have members of your household here instead of all the thousands of people that would have followed you to your high school graduation at the multiplex. And now they're watching on Mr. Lopez's live stream, thanks to Mr. Lopez. And it would take less time, you'll have less time here than it would be for me to replay all the goals that the Canadians have scored over their playoffs this spring. Sorry, got off track. Back to my point. Things here did not change for you in this way. You have earned your rightful place at the Moore School Convocation. You've breezed through some classes, I'm thinking some of them that you like, and then you've worked hard at the others. You've laughed at a teacher or two, and you've laughed with your classmates. You've probably been frustrated by something or someone school-related, but that's part of the process of making memories, and I think you'll leave here with some good and some bad ones, but that's your right to have those memories. Let's just say that your last year has not been the year that maybe you dreamt of or thought about. What did that dream involve? Well, maybe it was joining a sports club or two, or a club or two, pardon me. Maybe you actually got to leave the school and go to Tim's for a spare or lunch and not feel like you were breaking out of jail when you did. Or that you could actually go to something like a career symposium and walk into the building rather than watch it on a screen. So the run-of-the-mill typical year is really not what you thought about, and for that, and I didn't turn out, and for that I feel for you and your classmates. But let's not wallow and think about all the negatives. I've got 3 positives for you. Your class of 2021, made history. Outside of the 1953-54 polio epidemic, you guys are just as special. You had to experience a lot of health protocols, et cetera, this whole year. Now, number 2, we got to spend most of the school year together. There were some brief pauses, et cetera, and it was only every other day, but we got to see you. And if I could speak personally for a second, seeing you and your classmates here at the school saved me more than once, because I struggled too with the health protocols and the changes and the canceled events. I considered every day at school with you guys a blessing. Why? Because that's what I love. That's why I do what I do, to be with you guys, and I appreciate that. Now, this is the end of my 3rd year at Morris School, and I've got to see you guys go from a group of goofy grade 10s to the men and women that you are today, and I want to thank you for the pleasure and privilege of being able to be part of your experience. And I hope that at least coming to school for you was positive a little bit, because you got to see the people that you like. Now, positive number 3, you've accomplished a goal. The reason you're here today is to complete a process. You put a stamp on a 13-year education career. For some, it'll be the last time they ever step foot in a school. And for others, this is one phase of education and they move on to the next. But I don't want to talk about the future. I want you to think about cherishing this moment. Beyond the 10 minutes that you'll have here in this enchanted forest, I want you to celebrate it with family and friends. And at 12:01 a.m. tonight, you can have 10 people in your backyard. And you can also go to a park and you can have 24 other people. So find a way to celebrate and cherish the moment, because you've earned it. And as you head out, Matthew, to figure out the rest of your life, I wish you the best. You're always welcome here, and I hope you take us up on that invitation. I hope part of your life you do choose to serve others, because I believe from personal experience that it's one of the best feelings in the world. So congratulations, Matthew, for being part of the class of 2021. Way to go. So, in front of the picture frame is your diploma. Pick it up. Yeah, there you go. And then you can fold it in half and show Mrs. DeKazel your diploma, so she can take a picture of it. Matthew Brian Neil Phillips. There you go. Congratulations, Matthew, on your graduation from Morris School. There's been some challenges, and you've worked hard to finish. We are proud of your efforts and especially proud of you. We wish you the very best as you take the next year to work and figure out your next steps. Matthew is receiving his Manitoba High School diploma. Congratulations, Matthew. Way to go. Thank you, sir. Awesome. And if you guys want, just get to the street and turn right. the front of the school, there's a photo booth sort of thing set up, so you can take as many photos as you like. We'd love you to do that, okay? Thank you. Good job, Matthew. Hey, Matthew, take the blue one, too. That's yours as well on the, yeah, right there. The blue one's yours, too. Nice job. Good job. Thank you, guys. Appreciate you coming. I can get another one. All right. Morning, Tegan. Morning. Good to see you. Welcome. Tegan's family, good to see you as well. And it's my honor to welcome you to your own personal and private class of 2021 convocation. I'm thinking if you flash back to grade 9, the first year of your high school career, I'm pretty sure you couldn't have predicted this. I'm pretty sure as well that a lot has happened over these last 4 years and especially these last 16 months. And it would take me a bunch of time, and I don't have it, to detail all of those, so we'll move on. But the way your family and friends probably described their, like I graduated in what your grad was like and your grad year was like, didn't really measure up. And I'm thinking also, if the class of 2020, last year's grade 12s, think they were so special because they had 3 months of this, you said, sit down and hold my root beer. So, but one thing hasn't changed, and that's your right to be here. Now, it might be in the auto body shop, turned to Enchanted Forest. Shout out to the decorating committee. Rather than the multiplex, you're only allowed to bring members of your household and your grandparents here. And I know there would have been thousands of people show up to watch you graduate at the multiplex, but they'll be on the live stream with Mr. Lopez, so good on that. And you'll also be out of here in less time than it'll take to replay all the goals scored by the Canadians during this spring's playoff run. Whereas a convocation usually takes an hour and a half to 2 hours. So I bet you somebody, sister, and Logan probably, are pretty happy that this is only going to take about 10 minutes. Just wait, Logan. Hopefully yours is typical and he's got to suffer through in an hour and a half to 2 hours. By the way, Mr. Cox is really sad, and so is Mr. Lopez, really sad, because they wanted school to be extended so that they could run through the hallways after the Canadians won the cup, and they could cheer and celebrate in front of all the classes. Yeah, sorry, sorry, I'm getting distracted. The reason you're here did not change. You've worked hard to earn your rightful spot at this convocation. You've breezed through some classes, some of them that you probably really liked, and you've worked hard at others, or just worked at others to get through, right? You've laughed out loud at a teacher or with a teacher or classmates, and you've probably been frustrated by some things school-related or someone school-related. And I think it's all part of the process of making memories, but you have a right to have those memories. And let's just say your senior year wasn't what you dreamed of. What did your dream involve? Well, maybe being part of that Mavericks hockey team for one final time. Maybe actually leaving the school grounds and not feeling like you were breaking out of jail. Maybe go on a field trip like a career symposium and actually enter another building rather than watch it on a screen. So the typical run-of-the-mill year that other people have experienced just wasn't it for you this year, and for that I feel for you and your classmates. I really do. But we're not here to dwell on negative things. I've got 3 positives for you. Number 1, your class made history. Outside of the polio epidemic in 1953-54, your class went through something pretty special. So that's a memory you can tell your grandkids about. Back in the day, you know, that sort of thing. So positive number 2, most of this school year, although it was every other day, we got to see you. And you got to see friends of yours. And I know that's important to you, right? And if I could speak personally for a minute, your presence in our school, you and your classmates, saved me more than once. Because I too struggled with health protocols, rule changes, and having to cancel things. I really did. So I considered every day at school with you guys a blessing. Why? Because I got to see you. And seeing you is the reason I do what I do. So when I came here, I'm in my 3rd year at Morris School, and I came here and you guys were goofy grade 10s, and you've turned out to be just fine young men and women. And I appreciate that, and I appreciate you letting me be part of your experience, so thank you. Now, I'm hoping that can be said for you too, that school, albeit, hey, put on your mask, get away from each other, here's a comb, put that when you go to the bathroom, etc., etc. I hope deep down, the root of why you're here at school, number 1, to learn, but also to be social and get to know your friends, was a positive for you. So I hope that was the case. Positive number 3, and the final one, which is the most important, is you've accomplished a goal. The reason you're here today is to complete a process, to put a stamp on your education, or the 13 years that you've had at least. For some, last time they step into school, don't want to do it ever again. Others, it's just one phase finished, the next phase will come, next year or whenever that happens. But I don't really want to talk about tomorrow or the next day or the next day or the next day. I want to cherish today, and I want you to cherish your graduation today, beyond the 10 minutes that you'll get in the enchanted forest. I want you to enjoy it, celebrate it with your family and your friends, and as of tonight at 12:01, 10 people in your backyard without getting arrested, and 24 at a park, because 25 is you. Okay, so however you celebrate it, congratulations, and please do, but just follow those health protocols. I had to put it in one more time. Okay, so as you head to figure out the rest of your life, I wish you the best. You're always welcome here, and I hope you take us up on that invitation. I hope you choose also in part of your life to serve others, because I can tell you from personal experience, it's one of the best experiences of your life. So, congratulations, Tegan, for being part of the class of 2021. Way to go. Okay, so there's a picture frame, but in front of that is your diploma. Just pick it up. You want to fold that one bottom half in the back so that your diploma is displayed, and this is the case. We'll take pictures of you while I say this. Tegan Cole Reese Fillion. Congratulations, Tegan, on your graduation from Morris School. Tegan, you will be remembered, absolutely remembered, for your big smile and good-natured laugh. Your encouragement, and Tampa fan, I think. Were you a Tampa fan? Yeah. We might not remember that part. But your encouragement to other student athletes was appreciated, be it cheering for them or running with them. The Morris Mavericks hockey team appreciated your strength of character and solid leadership as a determined athlete. We wish you the very best as you take the next year to work and figure out what the next steps are for you. Tegan is receiving his Manitoba High School diploma. Congratulations, Tegan. These photos will all be available to you guys if you want. And then once you're finished here, turn right to the front doors of the school. There's a photo booth sort of setup going on there. Please shake my hand. I don't know if you know what I mean by that, but shake my hand. look awesome. Hi, Stanley. How are you? Awesome. How are you? Good. All these will be available after as well. Yeah, you'll be able to. So just sit back and relax. Unless relaxing is videoing the proceedings. Hi, Carly. How are you? Good morning. Good morning to Carly's family, friends. Appreciate you being here at Carly's. It's my honor to welcome you to Carly's personal and private, somewhat private. It's live stream, so I guess the private's gone. Class of 2021 convocation. Now, if you're a flashback to your grade 9 year, I wasn't here, so I wouldn't know. Your first year of high school, I'm pretty sure you couldn't have predicted this. A lot has happened and changed over the last 4 years for you, and especially the last 16 months. It would take me more than my 4 minutes allotted to detail all those changes, so let's just save those. But the stories that you've heard from others about what grad looks like just didn't match up. But if the class of 2020, last year's grade 12s, thinks that they're so special because they had to suffer through 3 months of this, you said, sit down and hold my root beer. Yes. But one thing that hasn't changed, Carly, is your right to attend your high school graduation. Now, it might be in the auto body shop, turned Enchanted Forest, shout out to the decorating committee, yeah. Instead of the multiplex, and now you're only allowed to bring members of your family, the 2-car thing, or instead of the thousands of people that would have been there to watch you, and now they've got to do it on the live stream thanks to Mr. Lopez. And you'll be out of here in less time than it will take me to replay all the goals that the Canadians have scored this spring in the playoffs. And there you go. Speaking of that, and I know you'll enjoy this because you're on the bandwagon, Mr. Cox and Mr. Lopez are pretty sad that school's over before the playoffs are over because they were ready to run through the hallways celebrating victories, the first one since '93. Sorry, got distracted. Back to my point. You're here, and the right to be here did not change. You've earned it. You've breezed through some classes, worked really hard at others. You've laughed at teachers, with them maybe, and with your classmates. You've been frustrated by something or someone school-related, I'm thinking, but it's all part of making memories, good and bad. You've earned the right, though, to have those memories. Let's just say that your last year, your senior year, wasn't something that you dreamt of. What was that dream? Well, maybe you joined a sports team or two. I know you would have. Maybe you actually got to leave the school to go to Tim's rather than feel it like if you did, you were breaking out of prison. Maybe you would get to go to a field trip or a university open house or a career symposium instead of seeing it on a screen. So the typical run-of-the-mill that other people have experienced, you didn't get to do that, and for that I feel for you and your classmates. I really do. But that's the negative stuff. Let's move on. I got 3 positives for you. Number 1, your class has made history. Outside of the polio epidemic in 1953-54, this class experienced quite the deal. So you guys have a place in history. Number 2, most of our school year, and thanks to you, a lot of fun things were planned, you and Bryce and everybody else on the student leadership team. We got to see each other and experience some things together. Now, it was every other day and we took a break here and there, but we got to see each other. And if I can speak personally for a second, your presence in our school saved me more than once. I struggled too with the health protocols and the rule changes and all the canceled events, but I considered every day with you guys a blessing. Why? Because I got to see you guys, and seeing you is the reason I do what I do. So as I end my 3rd year at Morris School, I got to see this group of goofy grade 10s become the leaders of the school and become fine men and women. And it's been my pleasure and privilege to be part of that experience, and I want to thank you for that. I hope your ability to be at school this year, too, was a positive for you, although 2 meters away, stay away from each other, mask on, et cetera, but I hope it was. Now, positive number 3. You accomplished a goal. The reason you're here today is to complete a process. You put a stamp on that 13 years of education. For some, it'll be the last experience in school. They never want to see the inside of a school again in their lives until like maybe their kids go because they have to. For others, it's just another phase completed and move on to the next. But where you go tomorrow, I'm not going to say I don't really care, but I don't want to dwell on it. I want you to cherish today. I want you to cherish beyond this 10 minutes. I want you to celebrate it with your family. And at 12:01 tonight, you can have 10 people in your backyard. Yeah. Or you could go to a park and be one of 25 people to celebrate. However you choose to do it, and I know you got some plans. Good for you, folks. You've earned it, so cherish it. And you'll worry about tomorrow. So as you figure out what the rest of your life looks like, I wish you the best. You're always welcome here, and I hope you take us up on that invitation. I hope part of your life, though, and I know it will, you choose to serve others. Because I can tell you from personal experience, it's one of the best feelings in the world. So congratulations, Carly, for being part of the class of 2021. Way to go. All right, so if you go in front of that, the frame in front of you, in front of that is your diploma. Pick it up. Yeah, you can switch your tassel too. Yeah, that's called a diploma. Yeah, very good. Pick it up. Yeah, good. Now fold it in half so that Mrs. DeKazel can see. Yeah, there you go. And switch your tassel. You can move your tassel around. There you go, good. And I'm going to say a lot, but I'm going to say this. Carly Nicole, I didn't know that, Adel. Carly is graduating with honors. Carly, you will be remembered for your desire to make a difference no matter what the situation or circumstance. There have been many challenges, but you have never given up. You have been a driving force on the student leadership team this year, especially this year as our vice president. Thank you for your commitment to making our school a better place. Carly, we wish you well as you pursue your interests in kinesiology and science at the University of Manitoba with the possibility of becoming a teacher. Hey, I'm still around in 5 or 6 years. Figure that out. Carly, you'll be receiving the following. The English Literacy Focus 40S Award, sponsored by the Jean Coates family with a mark of 97, a measly 97%. The ELA Comprehensive Focus 40S, sponsored by McPhail Travel with just a piddly mark of 98%. The Global Issues 40S Award, sponsored by Brand Trucking with the mark of 98%. A plaque commemorating your role as co-valedictorian, I haven't watched the speech yet, but I will this afternoon, of your graduating class. The Morris School Athlete Award for demonstrating outstanding skill, contributing to the team with that skill, and displaying good sportsmanship with respect for teammates, the opposition, the coaches, and officials. The Morris School Co-Curricular Award. This award is given in recognition for your participation and leadership in co-curricular activities throughout high school. The MHSAA for Scholar Athlete of the Year Award, $400. The MLA Bursary for Excellence in Writing. This award is given in recognition of a student that consistently demonstrates excellence in all types of writing in 2 40S English classes. The Morris Chamber of Commerce $500 scholarship. The University of Manitoba Chown Centennial Scholarship of $1,000 is given to one student who meets the highest standards in the following areas. The attitude of the student's behavior, cooperation, class participation, and contribution, athletic involvement, co-curricular activities of the student, and a continuing effort to achieve one's best. And then finally, there's one more. A $3,000 Queen Elizabeth II Academic Entrance Scholarship from the University of Manitoba, and of course, you're holding it, that Manitoba High School Diploma. Congratulations, Carly. Way to go. With that. And you guys, once we're done, turn right. Well, Carly knows where it is because she probably helped set it up. Go take some photos and enjoy yourself. Good job, kid. And just so you know, there's a new thing in my contract that principal gets 10% of any winnings. So I'll be by later. That's awesome. Good job. Good to see you. Thank you very much. Your mask matches your dress. That's awesome. But you don't have to wear it. Give it to mom or dad or whoever, and they'll hold it for you while you're here. And just follow Mrs. DeCazel, and she'll lead you around. Nice job. Yeah, now it's my turn. Did I get you? Okay. All right. Good morning, Cassidy. Welcome, family. Thanks for being here. It's my honor and privilege to welcome you to your personal class of 2021 convocation. If you were to flash back to grade 9, first year of high school, I'm pretty sure you couldn't have predicted this. A lot has changed for you over the last 4 years, but especially the last 16 months. By the way, I'm really glad that, I know although you didn't start here, I'm glad you finished. It was great to see you. It would take me the entire 4 minutes that I have allotted to talk about all the changes that have happened in that time, so I'll save you that. But I know you've heard stories about what a real grad would look like and what a typical grad would look like, and back in my day, this is what it looked like. And the class of 2020 also, it's changed a little bit. They feel pretty special because they had to do this for 3 months. You had to do this all year. So you said, yeah, you guys don't mean a lot. So, one thing that hasn't changed though is your right to attend your high school graduation. Now, it might be in the auto body shop, turned Enchanted Forest. Shout out to the decorating committee. Instead of the Morris Multiplex, you're only allowed to bring members of your family. Instead of the thousands of fans that would have packed the house to watch you graduate, but they're probably watching now on live stream. Thanks, Mr. Lopez. And you'll be out of here in less time than it'll take to replay all the goals scored by Mr. Cox's and Mr. Lopez's Montreal Canadiens during the playoffs. Whereas a typical convocation is an hour and a half to 2 hours. Now, are these your brothers and sisters sitting here? So I'm thinking they'll love the 10 minutes versus the hour and a half to 2 hours. So they like you more now than ever. So, back to my point. The reason you're here did not change. You've earned the right to be here. You've breezed through some classes, some of them that you probably liked, and you've worked really hard on others. You've laughed at some teachers, maybe with them every once in a while too, and your classmates. and you've been frustrated by something or someone school-related. I'm pretty sure that's the case. But it's all the process of making memories, and you've made some, both good and bad, but you've got the right to have those memories. Now, let's just say your last year at high school isn't what you dreamt of. What did the dream involve? Well, maybe being part of a sports team or part of a club, maybe actually being able to leave the school grounds to go to Tim's on your spare or at lunch, or downtown for a Slurpee at the Co-op. Maybe you get to go to a career symposium in an actual other building rather than watch it on a screen. So the typical run-of-the-mill year just didn't happen for you guys this year, and for that I feel for you and your classmates. But that's wallowing in self-pity, so let's not do that. I've got 3 positives for you. Number 1, your class of 2021, made history. You, outside of the polio epidemic in 1953-54, you guys are a close second. You've experienced some unique things that a lot of people haven't, and hopefully, again, never will. But you're part of history. Number 2, most of the school year we had an opportunity to be together. Now, it was every other day, and it wasn't, watch, hey, wear your mask, stay away from it, blah, 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 all those different things that you're maybe not used to, but we got to be together. And I can say if I could take it a little bit personal for a second, your presence in our school saved me more than once, because I too struggled with protocols and rule changes and canceled events, and to hear, after talking with your mom, that you were coming back, I was really happy to hear that. So I'm really, like I said before, really glad. So I considered every day with you at our school a blessing. Why? Because I got to see you. And seeing you is the reason I do what I do. As I end my 3rd year at Morris School, I got to see you go from a group of goofy grade 10s to leaders of the school and fine young men and women. And it's my pleasure and privilege to be a part of that experience, and I want to thank you for that. I hope your ability to come to school this year was a positive for you as well, albeit sitting 2 meters away and wearing masks, etc., etc. 3rd positive, you've accomplished a goal. The reason you're here today is to complete this process. Put a stamp on your 13 years of education. For some, it'll be the last time they step into school. I don't want anything to do with it. For others, it's just completing this phase and maybe moving on to the next phase of education. But I don't want to dwell on what the future looks like for you. I want you to cherish today. I want you to cherish beyond this 10 minutes. I want you to celebrate this accomplishment with your family and cherish it. And at 12:01 tonight, you can have 10 people in your backyard other than these folks right here. Or you could go to a park and have 24 others join you. So please, celebrate it, cherish it, but follow those public health orders. So, as we figure out, and you figure out what the rest of your life looks like, I wish you the very best. You're always welcome here, and I hope that you take us up on that offer to visit and keep us in the loop about what you're doing. And I hope that part of your life you choose to serve others as well, because serving others from personal experience is one of the best things you can do in life. So, congratulations, Cassidy, for being part of the class of 2021. Way to go. So Cassidy, just in front of the picture frame is your diploma. You can pick up your diploma and then fold it in half backwards. Yes, very good. You're very good at this. So I'm going to say this, and I didn't know your middle names, so I'm going to say them. Cassidy Faith Marie Friesen. Congratulations, Cassidy, on your graduation from Morris School. This has been a challenging year, and yet you have returned to Morris to finish your high school credits, and today you are graduating. Well done. You will be remembered as a thoughtful student who was kind to everyone. We wish you the best as you take this year to explore your interests and find employment opportunities working with children or serving others. Way to go. Cassidy is receiving her Manitoba High School diploma. Congratulations, Cassidy. Way to go. Take photos and do whatever you want, okay? And these photos will be available as well. Well, there's that too. Congratulations. Way to go. You look very nice. Nice work. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you coming. That wasn't the case. Like the curls. Hi, Chloe. You look great. I'm jealous of the curls. Just saying. Just saying. So, oh, they're very nice. Good morning, family. It's my absolute honor to welcome you to your own personal class of 2021 convocation. Chloe, if you were to flash back to your grade 9 year, the first year of high school, I'm pretty sure you couldn't have predicted this. A lot has happened and changed over the past 4 years, particularly the last 16 months. And it would take me way too much time because I don't have it to detail all that, so we'll just leave it alone and we'll save those stories. But the things that you've heard about grad from relatives and friends and what a typical grad would look like just didn't match up to what you're going on right now. And if the class of 2020 thinks that they're so special because they had to survive 3 months of this, you said, sit down and hold my root beer. But one thing hasn't changed, and that's your right to be here at convocation. Now, it might be in the auto body shop, turned Enchanted Forest by people like yourself in the decorating committee. Shout out to them. Way to go. Instead of the Morris Multiplex. And you're only allowed to bring certain members of your household instead of all the fans that would have packed the place to watch you graduate, but they're watching on Mr. Lopez's live stream. Thank you, Mr. Lopez. And you'll be out of here in less time than it'll take to replay Mr. Cox's and Mr. Lopez's favorite team's goals through the NHL playoffs this spring. Yes, whereas the typical convocation takes about an hour and a half to 2 hours, so you'll be out of here way faster than that. Sorry, back to my point. The reason you're here did not change. You've worked to earn your rightful place at the Morris School convocation. You've breezed through a lot of classes, but you've really worked hard at a lot of others. You've laughed at some teachers, maybe with them, and classmates, with some classmates, and you've been frustrated by something or someone school-related. But that's all part of the process, and you're allowed to have those memories, both good and bad. Let's just say your senior year, your last year, wasn't something that you dreamed about. What did your dream involve? Well, maybe finishing your experiences on some sports teams that you were a part of. Or maybe actually being allowed to leave the school grounds to go to Tim's during a spare. Or to maybe go to a career symposium in an actual other building rather than watching it on a screen. So the typical run-of-the-mill thing that everybody was used to sort of went away, and that became at the end of last year your dream, just to have a regular, typical year. And that didn't happen, and for that I feel for you and your classmates. But I'm not going to worry about the negatives. Let's focus on the positives. I've got 3 for you, and you probably got more. Number 1, history-making class, the class of 2021. Outside of the 1953-54 polio epidemic, this year's pretty special. You've got your place in history. So, number 1, you've made history. Number 2, this year, although we took some breaks, and it was every other school day, we got to see each other. And if I can speak personally for a moment, your presence and the presence of your classmates saved me more than once as I struggled with the health protocols and rule changes and all the canceling things that we would have to do. But I considered every day with you guys a blessing. Why? Because I got to see you. And seeing you is the reason I do what I do. So as I end my 3rd year at Morris School, and I inherited that goofy group of grade 10s that have turned into a real great group of young men and women and the leaders of our school, it's my pleasure and privilege that you were allowing me to be part of that experience. So thank you. And I hope that your ability to come to school was a positive for you as well, albeit 2 meters away, wear a mask, etc., etc. Positive number 3, you've accomplished a goal. The reason you're here today is to complete that process. It's to put a stamp on your 13 years of education thus far. Now for some, it'll be the last experience of a school that they'll ever get. But for others, end this phase, move on to the next. But in the end, I don't want to dwell on or talk about the future. I want you to focus on here and today. I want you to cherish this moment beyond the 10 minutes that you get in the Enchanted Forest. I want you to cherish today and celebrate your graduation. Now, how you do that? Couple things. At 12:01 tonight, you can have 10 people in your backyard. And you can go to a park and have 24 other people, 25 including yourself. So however you choose to celebrate it, I hope that you do, and I want you to cherish today and worry about tomorrow. So, as you head out to figure out what the rest of your life looks like, Chloe, I wish you the best. You are always welcome here, and I hope that you take us up on that offer to come back and keep us in the loop about how you're doing. I also hope that you choose, and I know you're this type of person, to include serving others as a part of your life, whether that's in your career or in the things that you do outside of your career. Because I can tell you from personal experience, it's one of the best feelings in the world. Congratulations, Chloe, for being part of the class of 2021. Way to go. Okay, so grab your diploma, hold it in half so Mrs. DeCazo can see it. There you go, nice look at that instruction follower. They weren't even that clear. I get to say this, Chloe Morgan Adel. Chloe is graduating with honors. Chloe, you will be remembered for your willingness to help in most every area of our high school. In sport, you were there playing on the soccer, volleyball, and basketball teams. If it was student leadership or kids caring for kids, you were again always willing to help. This year you took on the promotions position on the student leadership team, and many graphics were created to advertise the student events we created you were created by you. Your creativity is visible even as we look around this room and the decorating. We thank you for being such a positive and willing contributor to our school. Chloe is planning to pursue a career in psychology and will be attending Providence University College next year. Chloe, you're receiving the following: the Morris School Liberal Arts Award and monetary gift of $150, the $500 Providence Student Leadership Scholarship, an academic entrance scholarship to Providence University of $3,000, and of course, what you're holding, the Manitoba High School Diploma. Congratulations, Chloe. Way to go. We'll take another one with her, the tassel, yeah. There we go. There you go, good job. And don't forget your haul. Yeah, that's awesome. Chloe, you probably already know this, but you can turn right and get as many photos as you guys want. Yeah, way to go. Congrats. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Mom your mask. You don't need your mask. There we go. Okay. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Looking awesome. Sparkly wrists look awesome. That's cool. Okay, so there's 3 people that have been here already, and I don't have a different speech, so I apologize for that. But the last part will be absolutely unique. Now, hopefully, you didn't watch any live streams yet, have you? Good, good. That's the best way to do it, because then this is new to you, right? Good. It's not really new to me, but it's new to you. Okay. Morning, Susan. Morning, family and friends. Good to see you. Welcome. It's my pleasure and honor to welcome you to your own personal class of 2021 convocation. If you were to flash back to the grade 9 year, I'm thinking this couldn't be predicted. In the last 4 years, a lot has changed, but especially the last 16 months. And it would take me the entire time of my speech to detail all those changes, so let's not even dwell on it. But you've heard stories about what typical grads look like with family and friends, I'm thinking. And this didn't really match up, but we're doing our best, and that's what we've been doing all year. And if the graduating class of 2020 think that they had a special, year because of their experience, you said, "Oh yeah, sit down and hold my root beer." It's not really root beer, but you know what I mean. Okay. But one thing, again, hasn't changed. I know there's been a lot of changes, but one thing hasn't changed, and that's your ability to be here and earning the right to be here at your high school convocation. Now, it might be in the auto body shop, turned Enchanted Forest. Shout out to the decorating committee for that. Instead of the multiplex, You're only allowed members of your household and some close friends instead of all the thousands of people that would have been cheering you on at the multiplex, but they're watching on the live stream thanks to Mr. Lopez. And you're going to be here in less time than it would take for us to replay all of Mr. Cox's and Mr. Lopez's favorite NHL team's goals during the playoffs, the Montreal Canadiens. Whereas a typical convocation usually takes between an hour and a half to 2 hours. So I'm thinking Samantha's probably pretty happy that it's only going to be 10 minutes. Yeah. Sorry, back to my point. The reason you're here did not change. You earned your rightful place here at your convocation. You breezed through some courses, I would say a lot of courses, but you've worked really hard on others. You've laughed at some teachers and with some classmates. You've been frustrated by something or someone school-related, I'm thinking. I've seen you in some student leadership meetings trying to bite your tongue. It's all part of the process, though, those memories, both good and bad. However, you've earned the right for those memories. Now, let's just say your senior year, your last year is not what you dreamed of. What did that dream involve? Probably finishing off, especially for you, basketball and some volleyball maybe, and actually getting to leave the school and go to Tim's for lunch or somewhere else, or down to get a Slurpee at the Co-op, something, just get me out of here. Or maybe to go to a university open house to actually go to the university and not watch it on a screen. So the run-of-the-mill school year that you had in grade 9, you were just hoping for at the end of June last year to have for your last year. That didn't turn out, and for that I feel for you and your classmates, I really do. But let's not dwell on all that grumpy stuff. Let's move to positives. I've got 3 for you. Your class has made history. Outside of the polio epidemic in 1953, 1954, your class is pretty special for what they've had to overcome and survive through. So that's one. Number 2, most of the school year, we had a few breaks, and it was only every other day, but most of the school year, we were together. And being in school and being together, we really came to appreciate that. And I know personally, you and your classmates, Susan, saved me more than once. Because I too struggled with the health protocols and the changes and the canceled events and what we could do and what we couldn't do. Because I considered every day a blessing to be around you guys. Because it's the reason I do what I do. I really love it. And as I end my 3rd year at Morris, and I inherited a group of goofy grade 10s that have turned into fine young men and women and leaders of our school, I want to thank you for letting me be involved in that experience, because it was a pleasure. But I hope your ability to come to school was a positive for you as well. So positive number 2. Positive number 3, you're here. You've accomplished a goal. It's not your only goal that you're going to accomplish in your life. I know that for a fact. But you've capped off and you put a stamp on a 13-year education career. For some of us, it'll be the last time we enter your foot into a school. But for a lot, it's the ending one phase and moving on to the next. And so, but I'm not really worried about what that looks like for you, because I'm confident that you'll do well. What I want you to focus on is today, is to cherish this moment and celebrate this moment, because you've deserved it. And I want you to go beyond the 10 minutes that you get in the Enchanted Forest, and I want you to celebrate it. Now, as of 12:01 tonight, you can have 10 people in your backyard. Maybe you want to do that. Or you could go to a park and have 24 other people, 25 with you included, and celebrate it that way. Whatever it looks like, do it. Follow those health protocols, but do it. Okay? So as you head out of here to figure out your future, I wish you all the best. You are absolutely always welcome here, and I want you to take us up on that offer every once in a while and keep us in the loop and let us know how you're doing. Or else I'll have to badger Sam with questions. How's Susan doing? What's she doing? What's happening? You better be up to date, Sam, or else you're in trouble. Okay? Okay? And I hope that part of your life you choose to serve others, because from personal experience, serving others is one of the best feelings in the world. So, finally, congratulations, Susan, for being part of the class of 2021. Way to go. You're going to pick it up, and you're going to fold that bottom part in behind you. Don't pick up the picture frame. There you go, just your diploma. There you go. Fold that bottom part back, yep. So Mrs. DeCazel sees the diploma, and you go from there. So I can say this. Susan Stork. Susan is graduating with honors. Susan will be remembered as an energetic, fun-loving person that is full of enthusiasm. Your kindness and respect to everyone is appreciated. Your involvement in athletics and leadership has made our school a better place. I look around and I thank you for contributing to this, the decorating that you did. We wish you the very best as you attend the University of Manitoba and pursue a career in dental hygiene. You are receiving the following: the Band 40S Award, sponsored by the band parents, with a mark of a measly 99%. Where'd the other percent go? I'm just kidding. The Psychology 40S Award, sponsored by Big Way Foods, with a mark of 100%. I can't say the same thing there. Nothing left. The Morris School Athlete Award, you have demonstrated outstanding skill, contributed to the team with that skill, and shown good sportsmanship with respect for teammates, the opposition, the coaches, and officials. You've also received the Miller Environmental Scholarship of $500. A 3,000 Queen Elizabeth II Academic Entrance Scholarship from the University of Manitoba, and of course, what you're holding, that Manitoba High School diploma. Susan, congratulations. Way to go. And then don't leave without your haul. Now, the other people have heard this too, but there's a new policy at school this year that, no, you keep smiling because it's good. It's good news for somebody. All the money that you won, the principal gets 10%. I'm just kidding. So you can grab all that. Congratulations. Way to go. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much. Hi, Tessa. How are you? Awesome. Hi, Molly. How are you? Oh, good. You can speak. Okay, good. Excellent. Welcome, family. Molly, it's my honor and privilege to welcome you to your own personal class of 2021 convocation. If you were to flash back to your grade 9 year, first year of high school for you, I'm pretty sure you couldn't have predicted this. A lot has happened over the last 4 years for you personally, but especially in this last 16 months. It would take my entire 4 minutes to sort of talk about all those changes that have happened, but I'm not going to dwell on that. Let's move on. But the stories that you've heard from people who've had real years or typical years of high school for graduation, it's probably there, and you probably understand what should be and what shouldn't be. Some of that hasn't matched up, and the class of 2020, let's bring them up just for a second. They think they're so special because they had to suffer through 3 months of this. Well, you said, sit down and hold my root beer. You understand. So, but one thing hasn't changed, and that's your right to be here. Now, it might be in the auto body shop turned Enchanted Forest, thanks to a few people in this room. Way to go. Yes, exactly. Instead of the multiplex, you're only allowed to bring members of your family, couple cars, instead of the thousands of people that would have flocked to the multiplex to watch you graduate. They're there watching on live stream. Thanks, Mr. Lopez. And you're going to be here in less time than it would take to play all the goals that the Montreal Canadiens have scored during the playoffs. So a typical grad takes about an hour and a half to 2 hours. You got 10 minutes. So I bet you Tessa's probably pretty happy that it's only 10 minutes. And then in a couple of years, hopefully a few years, you'll have to suffer through her an hour and a half, 2 hour convocation. So, by the way, Mr. Cox, Mr. Lopez, pretty sad that school's ending as early as it is because they were hoping it would extend to the end of the playoffs so they could run through the hallways celebrating their victory. Sorry, I got distracted there for a moment. The reason you're here did not change. You've worked to earn your right to be at your convocation. You've breezed through some classes, probably the ones you enjoyed the most, and you've worked really hard at others. You've laughed at some teachers and with some classmates, and maybe some teachers too. You've been frustrated by something or someone school-related, I'm thinking, but it's all part of the process and part of the memories that you've made, both good and bad, but you have the right to have those memories. Let's just say that your senior year hasn't been what you dreamt of. What's your dream? Well, maybe playing basketball for the Mavericks again for one last time, playing on the other sports teams, being part of that. Maybe actually leaving the school grounds to go home at lunch or to do something else instead of feeling like you were locked in for 6 hours. Maybe going to a university open house to the actual university or a career symposium to the convention center rather than watching it on a screen. So a typical run-of-the-mill year that you had in grade 9, 10, you were just hoping for at the end of June last year to have that. That didn't happen, and for that I feel for you and your classmates. But let's not wallow in that self-pity stuff. Let's move to the positives. I've got 3 for you. Number 1, your class made history. Outside of the polio epidemic in 1953-54, your class is pretty special for what they've had to endure. And so you have your place in history with your classmates. Positive number 2, you and your classmates, for the most part, a little break here and there, every other day sort of thing, but got to come to school. And I don't know about you, but that was a positive for me because a lot of days it personally saved me because I too struggled with the rule changes, the health protocols, and all the canceled events. And I considered every day, however, with you guys, a blessing. Why? Because I got to see you, and that's why I do what I do. So as I end my 3rd year at the school, and I inherited a group of goofy grade 10s that have turned into fine young men and women who are leaders of our school, I want to thank you for the privilege and the pleasure of being part of that experience. And I hope that your ability to come to school was also a positive for you. Although, stay away from each other, put your masks on, and it was academia, academia, academia most of the time. Positive number 3, you today have accomplished a goal. The reason you're here is to complete a process. Put a stamp on that 13-year public education experience. For some, it'll be the last time they step inside of a school. For others, end one phase of education, move on to the next. But where you go tomorrow and what you do, I want to know, but I don't want to dwell on it today. I want you to cherish this moment, beyond these 10 minutes that you'll have in this room. I want you to go out and cherish and celebrate the moment that you'll have. And I know you've got some plans to do that. Now, as of 12:01 tonight, you can have 10 people in your backyard. You can also go to a park and have 24 others come with you. So however you celebrate it, please do and cherish the moment. And as you head out to figure out what the rest of your life looks like, I wish you the best. You are absolutely always welcome here, and I hope you take us up on our invitation. And I hope part of your life you choose to serve others, because serving and helping others is one of the most beneficial, valuable experiences that you'll get. Congratulations, Molly, for being part of the class of 2021. Way to go. So pick up your front, don't pick up the frame, yes, very good, nice. And then fold that backwards so you can show the diploma to Mrs. DeKazel. Very good. And I will say the following: Molly Ann Dawn Johnston. Molly is graduating with honors. Molly, you will be remembered for your determination to make a positive difference in our school and community. I look around and I thank you for contributing in so many ways and so many areas of our school, and even the decorating for today. You have been involved in every opportunity our school has had to offer, and you have worked to make our school a better place. Thank you. We wish you success as you study at the University of Manitoba and pursue a career in occupational therapy. Molly, you will be receiving the following: the Family Studies 40S Award, sponsored by Rempo Insurance, with a mark of a measly 100%. The Psychology 40S Award, sponsored by Big Way Foods, with a mark of 102%? That's not legal. I'm talking to Mr. DeKazel on that one. The Morris School General Proficiency Plaque and a $300 award for achieving the highest standards in the following areas: the attitude of a student, the student's behavior, cooperation, class participation, and contribution, athletic involvement, co-curricular activities of the student, a continuing effort to achieve one's best. You've also received a Miller Environmental Scholarship of $500. You've also received the Girton Centennial Scholarship totaling $2,000 for the University of Manitoba. And of course, your Manitoba High School diploma. Don't cry, I'm gonna cry. Congratulations, Molly. Way to go. Okay, bring yourself home. You need one more? What's up, kid? What's up? Morning, Holly. Family. Now, I apologize for the third time through, members of the audience. The speech really hasn't changed. So I apologize already for that. And I hope you haven't watched a lot of live streams because it's not changing. So the last part's unique, and it'll be heartfelt. Not that the first part won't be, but the last part will be. So good morning. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. It's my privilege and honor to welcome you to your personal Class of 2021 convocation. Flashback to grade 9. I'm pretty sure you couldn't predict this. The last 4 years, there's been a lot of changes, but particularly in the last 16 months. It would take a lot of time for me to talk about that, so I'm not going to. But you've had family members, etc., tell you about what a grad looks like. Well, not quite the auto body enchanted forest stories that you probably got, but you get to tell these stories. You get to. And if the class of 2020 last year thought they were so special because they had 3 months of this, well, you said, sit down and hold my root beer. So, one thing that hasn't changed, though, Holly, is your right to be at your high school convocation. Now, it might be in the auto body shop turned enchanted forest. Shout out to that decorating committee. Instead of the multiplex, you can bring few members of your household, but I know you would have had thousands because you got such a following. They would have came to the multiplex to watch you graduate. Instead, they're boosting the numbers of our live stream right now. Thanks, Mr. Lopez. And you'll be out of here in less time than it takes for us to replay every goal that the Canadians have scored during their playoff run. You'll be out of here quick. So, whereas a typical convocation takes about an hour and a half to 2 hours, so I'm thinking the two younger folks are pretty appreciative that they're not here for more than 10 minutes or so. By the way, and I think you're probably part of this process too, Mr. Lopez, Mr. Cox are really sad that school's ending so quickly because they were looking forward to the playoffs ending, the Canadians lifting the cup, and then them coming the next day at school and running around celebrating, right? But I see you guys have already sort of started to celebrate and do that. So anyway, I digress. The reason you're here did not change. You've worked to earn your rightful place at Morris School Convocation. You've breezed through some classes, and you've worked hard in others. And some classes, you've just worked, but you've got through. And you've laughed out loud at teachers, not with, but at teachers sometimes, and with classmates. You've probably felt frustrated the odd time, either with someone or something related to school, but it's part of the process, it's part of making memories, and you've earned that right to have those memories, and I want you, hopefully, that you keep them dear to your heart. So your senior year is not what you dreamt of. What's that dream? Well, maybe finishing off your athletic career with the sports teams that you have, or maybe actually getting to leave school and go to Tim's or somewhere else and not feel like you were in prison for 6 hours. Maybe to go to a university open house and see that university and get to know what it looks like rather than on a screen by some presenter that was boring. So, the typical run-of-the-mill senior year that you thought you'd had when you think back in grade 9 didn't really pan out, and for that I feel for you and your classmates, but that's wallowing in our self-pity, so we're not going to do that. 3 positives. Number 1, your class completely made history. What you went through this year only pales in comparison maybe to the polio epidemic in 1953-54. Otherwise, you guys have been through some things. So the way you've handled it, I appreciate. Secondly, for the most part, little break here and there, and I know it was only every other day, except for you maybe, because you came to clean after school, so I always got to see you. We got to see each other, and to me that's a great feeling. Because if I can speak personally for a moment, your presence, and that of your classmates as well, saved me more than once. I considered every day at school with you a blessing because I got to see you, and that's the reason I do what I do. And so as I end my third year at Moore School, I got to see this group of goofy grade 10s become leaders of the school and awesome young women and men. So it's my pleasure and privilege that you allowed me to be part of that experience, and I hope that your ability to come to school, albeit 2 meters away and everything else, was a good one for you. Finally, Holly, you've accomplished a goal. The reason you're here today is to complete this process, put a stamp on 13 years of education, and for some it'll be the last experience in the school. Don't let the door hit them in the behind type of thing. And for others, end this phase, move on to something else. But I don't really want to dwell and talk about the future, because that'll happen, and I know you're going to be successful. What I want you to do is cherish today. Take your 10 minutes and extend it beyond. Make it last for a while. Celebrate it with your family members, and at 12:01 a.m. you can have 10 people in your backyard, and you can go for 25 at a park. So however you do it, celebrate it. Now, as you figure out the rest of your life and what that looks like, I wish you the best. I really do. You're always welcome here, whether you come to clean at the end or not. If that career's over, that's okay too. But I want you to accept that invitation because I really want to know how you're doing. I hope the rest of your life includes some way to serve others, though, because I can tell you from personal experience, it's one of the best things in the world. So congratulations, Holly Adel, for being part of the class of 2021. Way to go. Okay, so picture frame. Pick that up. Hold it backwards for the bottom. Yeah, there you go. You already know. That's good. Okay, I get to say this. Now, what's your, I don't want to butcher it. How do I say your middle name? Liddell. Oh, that's what I was going to say. Holly Liddell Adel. Holly is graduating with honors. Holly excels in volleyball, basketball, soccer, and badminton. Every team you've played on has benefited from your giftedness as an athlete. In addition, your involvement in student leadership and Kids Caring for Kids has made a positive contribution to our school. Plus, the countless hours you spent on the graduation video with your fellow classmates is also very appreciated. I'm going to watch all those this afternoon. I haven't seen any of them, so I'm going to watch them this afternoon. Holly, we wish you well as you pursue your goal of becoming a teacher. Okay, 5-6 years from now, I'll still be here, and studying at the University of Manitoba. Holly, you are receiving the following awards. The Morris Legion Ladies Auxiliary Bursary of $250, the Red River Valley Teachers Association scholarships of $500, and of course, what you have in your hands, the Manitoba High School Diploma. Congratulations, Holly. Way to go. Awesome. And you know that you can head to the right, go to the front entrance and take some photos. Thank you, guys. know what? If you're late, we're late, because somebody just left. So. Oh, do it. Do it. Do it. It was awesome. Hi, Chloe. How are you? Welcome, family. Good to see you. It is my absolute honor and pleasure to invite you to your own personal class of 2021 convocation. Flashback to grade 9. I'm thinking when you thought about your graduating year, no, you couldn't have predicted this. A lot has happened in the last 4 years, especially over the last 16 months. And I would take a lot of time to explain that, so let's move on. The stories that you've heard from older relatives or people that you know about what a grad year would look like and what your convocation would look like so that you could start thinking about what that would look like for you just didn't match up to what would be described here. And if the class of 2020 thinks that they were so cool because they had to survive 3 months of this, well, you said, hold my root beer on that one. But one thing that hasn't changed is your right to be here at this convocation, and I appreciate that. Now, it is an auto body shop turned enchanted forest, which looks great thanks to the decorating committee. Yes, very good. And it's not at the Morris Multiplex, but that's okay. Yeah, and you are only allowed to bring a few members of your family because I know you have thousands and millions of fans that would have packed the multiplex, right, from there. Instead, they're watching on live stream thanks to Mr. Lopez. And there's less time here than there would be if I replayed every Montreal Canadiens goal that has been scored during the playoffs. Mr. Cox and Mr. Lopez are loving this life right now. Whereas 1.5 to 2 hours is usually your typical. So some people in the room may be happy that this is only 10 minutes. You included? Fair enough, that's good. Well, that's awesome. That's a good way to look at it. Sorry, back to my point. The reason you're here did not change. You have worked to earn your rightful place in the Morris School Convocation. You've breezed through some courses, probably the ones you liked the most, and you've worked hard, or just worked to get through the others. You've laughed at a teacher or two, and you've laughed with your classmates, but you've probably already been frustrated, or you've probably also been frustrated with something or someone school-related. But it's all part of the process about making memories, both good and bad, and you have the right to have those memories. So let's just say your last year, not the year you dreamed of, maybe being on part of a sports team or two or a club, maybe you actually got to leave the school to go to Tim's or go get a Slurpee when it was hot in a day, or maybe you got to go to an open house at a university, to the actual university, rather than watch it on a screen. So in grade 9, when you were thinking about grade 12, that was just normal. But at the end of last year, it became a dream, what you wanted. Now that dream didn't measure up and didn't come true, so for that I feel for you and your classmates. But if we continue with this sort of feeling, we'd be wallowing in self-pity, so let's move on. I've got some positives. Your class made history. Outside of the 1953-54 polio epidemic, your class is pretty special. One of the few in history who's had to suffer through what you've suffered through. So history made, check. Positive, number 2. For the most part, couple breaks every other day, but we got to see each other. And if I speak personally for a moment, your presence and the presence of your classmates saved me more than once personally. Because I struggled too with the health protocols and the rule changes and the canceled events, et cetera, et cetera. We did what we had to do, but it wasn't fun. But you guys made it that way. You made it fun. It was a blessing for me every day to be at school because I got to see you. And seeing you is the reason I do what I do. So, as I end my 3rd year at Morris School, I got to see you go from a group of goofy grade 10s to a group of goofy grade 12s. I mean, fine young men and women and leaders of our school. And it's my pleasure and privilege that you allowed me to be part of your experience. I hope your ability to come to school was also a positive for you, albeit wear a mask, 2 meters apart, et cetera, et cetera. Positive number 3, you personally have accomplished a goal. The reason you're here today is to complete a process. Put a stamp on a 13-year public education career. For some people, it'll be the last time they step foot in the school and they'll be giddy happy about it. For others, it's just one phase completed so they can move on to the next and do what they want to do with their lives. But that's about tomorrow. I don't want to focus on that. Let's talk about today. Let's extend this 10 minutes and cherish and celebrate today and your graduation and your accomplishments. Now, as of 12:01 tonight, you can have 10 whole people in your backyard, yes, and you can also go to a park and have 24 other people join you. So, celebrate it, cherish it, find a way to do that. I hope you do, because you deserve it, okay? Finally, as you head out for the rest of your life and figure out what that looks like, I wish you the best. And you have an invitation, and I hope you take that invitation to come here because you are always welcome. We want to know how you're doing. And I hope part of your life you choose to serve others, because I can tell you from personal experience, one of the best feelings in the world is to serve another person. Congratulations, Chloe, for being part of the class of 2021. Way to go. So just in front of the picture frame, pick up your diploma, hold it at the back, yeah, very good. And I will say the following. Chloe Jean Marie Landry. Chloe graduates with honors. Chloe, you will be remembered for your energetic and enthusiastic attitude. In sport, you bring life and energy to every team you play on. Your involvement in school leadership, the school leadership team this year, was completely appreciated as well. We look forward and thank you for, and thank you for helping with this decorating. I know that there's different opinions, etc., okay? And everything just looks great. We wish you the very best as you pursue your career in education, taking after somebody I know, at the University of Manitoba. Chloe is receiving the RRVTA scholarship of $500, as well as the Girton Centennial Scholarship totaling $2,000 for the University of Manitoba, as well as what you have there, your high school, Manitoba High School diploma. Way to go. Congratulations, Chloe. Nice. Yes, very good. Take some photos, and you already know where you can go after to take some photos. That's awesome. Hey, Jewel, get in here. Awesome. Okay. Hi, Jewel. Hi, Jewel's family. Good to see you. First, I want to start by acknowledging that we are gathered on ancestral lands, Treaty 1 territory, traditional territory of the Anishinaabe, Cree, Oji-Cree, Dakota, and Dene peoples, and on the homeland of the Métis Nation. So, good morning, Jewel. Good morning again to your family. It's my absolute pleasure to welcome you to your personal Class of 2021 graduation ceremony. Now, if we were to flash back to when you started in high school here, I'm pretty sure you couldn't have predicted this. A lot has happened over those years, especially the last 16 months. And it would take a lot of time, and I'm only given about 4 minutes to say this speech, so it's taken way too much time, so I'll save you the details. But I'm thinking the way people describe a graduation, family and friends who tell you stories, this didn't exactly jive with those stories. But that's okay. And last year's class who thought they were so special because they only had 3 months of the pandemic to live with, well, you said, sit down and hold my root beer. So, but once again, a lot of things have changed, but one thing hasn't, and that's your right to be at your high school graduation convocation. I'm so proud to say that for you. Now, it might be in an auto body shop turned enchanted forest, and that's a shout out to the decorating committee to make it look that way. And you might only be allowed to bring members of your household rather than people that you would have, everybody that you would have liked to invited, but hopefully they're watching on the live stream. Shout out to Mr. Lopez for that. And it's going to take less time for you to go through this process than it will be for me to replay all the goals that the Canadians have scored during the playoffs this spring. So, because a typical convocation, I'm pretty sure Cedar's probably happy about this one. Typical convocation is about an hour and a half to 2 hours. This will take 10 minutes. So I bet you he's pretty happy about this whole thing. So, sorry, I got distracted. Back to my point. The reason you're here did not change. You've worked hard to earn your rightful place at the Morris School convocation. Now, you breezed through some courses, some of the courses that you really enjoy, I think, but you've worked hard to get through the others. You've laughed either at a teacher or with a teacher or an EA, and you've also sort of, best way to put it, been frustrated by some people or some things school-related. And that's okay. That's part of the process of making memories, and you can keep those memories because you've earned the right, both good and bad. So, let's just say that your last year of school is maybe not what you dreamed of. Maybe you thought that you could come and actually leave the school after, a spare or at lunch or something, but you were locked in here like a prison. Maybe you wanted to join a sports team or do a club or two, or maybe you wanted to go on a field trip and see something actual in real life rather than on a screen. Either way, what you had envisioned in a typical year sort of went away, and for that I feel for you and your classmates. But let's not wallow in our self-pity. Let's talk about the positives. I've got 3 for you. Number 1, you graduating this year is probably one of the most unique stories in history. Other than the polio epidemic in 1953, 1954, you graduating this year is pretty unique. So you check, place in history. Number 2, we got to see you at school. I'm thinking it was easier to come to school and do some work than it would be to do that work at home. And I'm glad that you decided to come to school and get that work finished, because I was glad every time I saw you, because I love seeing students in our school and I love seeing you part of that. And I thank you for that. I got to see you guys go from a group of goofy teenagers to a fine young men and women. So thank you for that and allowing me to be part of that experience. So I hope you coming to school was a positive for you as well. Number 3, you've accomplished a goal. The reason you're here today is to complete a process. You put a stamp on your public school education career. Now for some, it'll be the last time they step foot in a school because, oh, I don't want to do that again. And for others, end this phase, move on to the next, and do what you would like to do. But I don't want to focus on tomorrow. I want to focus on today, because I'm going to recommend that you cherish this experience. Take it beyond this 10 minutes. Celebrate it with your family. And as of 12:01 tonight, you can have 10 people in your backyard. Or you could go to a park and have 24 others join you. Take the time to cherish it and to celebrate it, because you've earned it. By the way, I love the bedazzled grad cap, by the way. That's awesome. So as you head out to Jewel to figure out the rest of your life and what that looks like, I wish you the best. You are always welcome here, and I hope that you take us up on that invitation to come by. And as you choose what to do in your life, I hope part of your life, or maybe even your career, you choose to serve others. Because I can tell you from personal experience, serving others is one of the most rewarding experiences of my life, and hopefully of your life. So, I'll end with this. Congratulations, Jewel, for being part of the class of 2021. Way to go. Good job. Now, in front of the frame, there's your diploma. If you could just pick up the diploma only. There you go. Yeah, very good. And then fold it so that the diploma shows. Yes, very good. There you go. And then Mrs. DeCazo will take some pictures while I say this. Jewel Ray Taisha Roberts. Congratulations, Jewel, on your graduation from Morris School. There have been challenges, but you have worked hard and persevered, and you are here today. We are so proud of your efforts, and especially proud of you. We wish you the very best as you take this next year to work at your job and follow in your mother and father's footsteps into the powwow circle. All the best as you work towards your goal of taking Indigenous studies and becoming an educational assistant. Jewel is receiving her Manitoba High School diploma, which she already has in her hands. Congratulations, Jewel. Way to go. Tegan would like to take one more set of photos if you can sign, and the bench with you. Want to step on the carpet there? That's awesome. That's a solid mom feeling right there. Good for you. Thanks, guys. Again, good morning again, Manuel. Good to see you. Welcome, family and friends. It's my honor and privilege to welcome you to your personal class of 2021 convocation. You made it. If we were to flash back to your grade 9 year, I'm pretty sure you couldn't predict this. A lot has happened over the last little bit, especially the last 16 months, and it would take me a long time, and I don't really want to dwell on it anyway, so let's move on. But the stories of the typical grad that you've heard didn't match up to this year. It's definitely different. And if the class of 2020 thinks they were special, well, they have no comparison to what you guys have done. So I don't want to dwell on that. I want you to think about the things that hasn't changed, and that's the ability for you to graduate, and you've earned it. Now, it might be in the auto body shop and turned into an enchanted forest, thanks to the decorating committee instead of the multiplex, and you're allowed to only have sort of a few members of friends and family here, instead of the thrones of fans that would have flocked to watch you graduate. So they got to watch it on the live stream instead. There's going to be less time in here. It won't take long than it would be to play back the Montreal Canadiens goals from this spring's Mr. Lopez and Mr. Cox's favorite team than a typical graduation, because it usually takes about an hour and a half to 2 hours, and I bet you there's a few people here that are happy that it doesn't take an hour and a half to 2 hours to watch you graduate. So good on you. Anyway, that's not the point. The point is the reason you're here has not changed. You've worked to earn your rightful place at Morris School Convocation. You've breezed through some courses, probably the ones you liked. And you've worked hard, and at others just worked to get through them. And that's okay. You've laughed at a teacher or two and laughed with them, hopefully every once in a while, and then also with your classmates. You've been frustrated by things, or someone at the school, and that's okay. That's part of the process, good and bad. You have memories, and that's your right to have those memories. Let's just say that you haven't had the senior year that you've dreamt of. What does that mean? Well, maybe to be part of a sports team or a club or two, or maybe to actually get to leave the school and be allowed to come back after a Tim's run or something like that. But your grade 9 year that you thought was just a normal school experience, I bet we're hoping that would be back to normal at the beginning of last September. But that wasn't the case, and for that I feel for you and your classmates. But I'm not going to wallow in self-pity, and I hope you're not either. We're going to talk about some positives. Your classmate history, outside of the polio pandemic of 53, 54, this class is pretty special with what they've had to endure and the things they've had to go through. So you've made history, check. We got to see you, positive number 2. We got to see you every once in a while. Not as much as we would have liked, but we got to see you anyway, and that's something that we didn't get to do at the end of last year, and for that I appreciate, because I appreciated seeing you every time you were here, because that's the reason I come to school, is to meet people like you. So thank you for allowing me to be a little part of your life and to be part of that process. I got to see a group, when I inherited the role, I got to see a group of goofy grade 10s turn into young men and women who I'm proud to say I know. So thank you for that. Positive number 3, today, right there, standing there for these few minutes, you've accomplished a goal. You've completed the process. You've put a stamp on your 13-year education career, and for some, it'll be the last time they enter a school. For others, it's just finish this phase, move on to the next phase of our life. Your future, I'm convinced that you'll be a successful young man, so I'm not worried about that for you. What I would ask you to do today is actually cherish this moment. Cherish beyond these 10 minutes and enjoy yourself and celebrate. You've earned it, and you should think about that and do what you can do to do that. Now, you can find different ways, but as of tonight, 10 people in your backyard or 25 at a park. So however you celebrate it, all the best, you've earned it. Now, as you figure out what to do with the rest of your life, I wish you all the best. And you are always, Manuel, welcome here. So I hope you come back and say hi every once in a while. I hope too that no matter what you choose to do, that every once in a while that you choose to serve others, because serving others, from my personal experiences, is one of the best things that you can do and one of the best experiences to feel. So, finally, congratulations, Manuel, for being part of the class of 2021. Way to go. So, Manuel, if you want to, in front of the frame, yeah, pick it up. And actually, you got double, so just hold up both and show to Mrs. Tegan while I say this. Victor Manuel Kasakin. Congratulations, Manuel, on your graduation from Morris School. This has been a challenging year, and you have worked hard to finish. Well done. You will be remembered as a friendly student with a gift for working with the younger students, especially in the gym. We wish you the very best as you continue an apprenticeship at D-Way Builders. As well, you said that you needed some things. We've been waiting for you to come back. Not we, mainly Mr. Lopez, because he talked about some motorcycle parts that he wanted to give you. So, Mr. Lopez, as well as the Manitoba High School diploma, which you should be feeling good about, congratulations on finally getting those motorcycle parts you wanted. So way to go. So, yeah, I'll take, if you want to come with me to sign the bench, I'll take the motorcycle part. You want to show your diploma? Yeah, you are graduated. Nice work. Thank you very much for your time. Good job, you guys.